Hey yo everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video review, and today we're going to be doing Batman issue number 5. Take a look at this column cover right here. Now, where we last left off on Batman, Bruce was in constant denial that the Court of Owls exists. He went so far to tell Dick that he actually investigated the Court of Owls back right after his family got murdered, believing that there was some linkage between the Court of Owls and his parents' murder. However, he found no connection between the two, and went so far to actually find no evidence that the Court of Owls existed. So, being in this state of denial, he continues to pursue the case that he's working on, which is ironically deals with the Court of Owls. He just doesn't believe that. So, in order to follow up on this case, he has to go into the underbelly of Gotham. Dig deeper into it. Quite literally, go into the sewers of Gotham. And it is there that he is attacked by the agent of the Court of Owls, known as Talon, as in the claw of a bird of prey. So we pick up in issue number 5, and we find out that a good amount of time has passed between the two issues. Actually, around a week or about 8 days has passed. And Bruce has been in this labyrinth that the Court of Owls has for all that time. He has been stripped of his utility belt. He has no boots. He has none of his tools accessible to him. Ironically, though, he still has his gloves on. Which, if you know Batman, he's going to put some tools in his gloves. But Gotham is missing him. The criminals are out and they're causing a ruck, and his allies are concerned because he hasn't showed up. Commissioner Gordon has left the bat signal on this whole entire time. And while Bruce is trying to find his way out of this maze, he's slowly being stalked by the Talon. Talon never showing his face, never showing that he's around, but Bruce knows it, and Bruce is starting to lose his mind a bit. I mean, 8 days without any food and very little water, it can cause a person to go insane, start seeing things, and he's starting to lose it. And he's starting to see more things that are in the Court of Owls grass. He sees other victims. He sees coffins of other members of the Court of Owls. He sees Gotham laid out in front of him as like a little miniature setting. He sees a lot of things, and he's slowly starting to lose his mind. And while this is going down, the comic switches how the panels are done. So normally we read left to right, but then you switch it and you have to read it top to bottom. Then you switch it and you read it like a manga, which is right to left. So they kind of switch up on exactly how the reading process is done to kind of give you that sense of you're losing your mind. And that's basically the concept of the story. I won't reveal how it ends. So let's get into the good, the bad, and whether or not you should get it. Good. Well, I had a discussion with one of my friends once, a co-worker, and one of the discussions is what our favorite interpretations of Batman is, and I have several different interpretations that I like. But one of the things he liked is he liked the Batman that doesn't have all the utilities and all the answers. He likes the Batman that uses what he can, and he's kind of like MacGyver. He has to be resourceful, and you really kind of see that in this. Batman has nothing. He has none of his normal tools. All he has is his cape, his suit, and his cowl. Which is still kind of confusing because Batman usually keeps tools in his gloves in some way, but he apparently didn't use them. And he's slowly losing his mind while this is going on, and he needs to find a way out, and he doesn't have the tools necessary. It makes this more of a survivalist story than anything else, and it's really quite cool because we have Batman, who is the jack of all trades, one of the smartest minds out there. I mean, only rivaled really by Lex Luthor, and he's slowly losing his mind, and he has to be constantly on the move. He needs to survive. For all we know, he probably hasn't slept in 8 days, which Batman can pull off. It's tough, but he can pull off. Batman also can get a full night's rest in 1 hour. If you read Blind Justice, it explains how. Anyways, it's cool because we get that survival story, and I really like that with the Batman title. 2 is the Court of Owls are really showing up to be a formidable opponent for Batman. Batman can tend to be a very powerful character, and I'm not talking about physical strength, although for a human, Bruce is pretty strong. It's the fact that Batman, there's several different versions of Batman, as I said, and a lot of people point towards the God Batman, which he can outthink, outsmart, and outdo anyone at any time. The Batman that can take down the Justice League with just a snap of his fingers. In this, we get a villain that can actually push Batman to his limits and really take and make Batman bring out the best in him, while at the same time degrading Batman and kind of destroying him mentally, physically, and spiritually. If I could ever compare this story to anything else, at least at this point, I would actually compare it to one of my favorite, if not favorite, Batman stories, which is Batman Nightfall. In Batman Nightfall, Bane slowly destroys Batman physically, mentally, and spiritually. The breaking of the bat wasn't necessarily his back getting broken, but Batman actually giving up and losing. You could actually say Bane is the biggest and probably the only real defeat Batman's ever had. Because all the other losses he's had, he came back from, and like the death of his allies, those were never really his fault. But Bane actually destroyed Batman, and the Court of Owls could do it too. It's good to see a formidable opponent for Batman. In addition to that, I also like the structure of the comic. Now you have to constantly be reading it from different angles and different sides. It really kind of gives that atmosphere and that environment. It was a very nice thing to do, and although I enjoy it, they shouldn't do it any more than they already have. But it's a really good thing that they did. And in addition to that, Greg Capullo's art is really coming out really nicely here. How he draws Bruce, especially without his utilities, and how his cape is all tattered and worn out. It feels more of a psychological trip than anything, which is what it should be. Bad, none whatsoever. Fantastic issue. Last week was a 4 out of 5 stars, which was the lowest ranking I gave Batman so far. It's back up to 5 out of 5 stars. Great issue, definitely worth picking up. Get this. This is the best of the DC New 52. I'm enjoying this. And it's not just because I am a Batman fan, he's my favorite character, it's because this is that damn good. Pick it up. This is Andrew saying peace out for now.